Hey there guys, it's Joey, and this is going to be the Witchy vlog for the Ogham, Beech or Phagos. But a slight change to the setup in front of us. Usually I use the black spell square, but I felt like using the Triskel pentacle I made. I pyrographed myself with some of the things that are drying out that I've wildcrafted recently, as well as the rose quartz generator and some of my Dark Goddess herbal blessing salt. Got some rose incense burning as well, so that's just everything you can see. There's a theme this week of getting back to myself, and this setup helps me feel that way, about remembering the cycles of nature and beauty in the world despite everything. So, to quickly touch on the meanings of Beech or Phagos, I don't have one of those as a stave, by the way, because they're one of the new ones. That is discussed in the experiencing video, as is most of the meanings, but we will quickly touch on them again, examining the past to understand the present, seeking wisdom from the ancestors, knowledge and learning, crossing a threshold, increasing your knowledge, and somewhere in here it says somewhere that it can also be a death. Beech can also signify a death or end of something. Also standing for changes that arise through realization. At the beginning of the week, there were many messages that would resound all the way through, be they in quote form or however they came to me. There are some quotes here and I'm going to share those in a second. They're all to do with believing in yourself. The first three are all from the Rebel Circus Facebook page, and 3 of them came in quick succession. Sometimes I feel like giving up, and then I remember I have a lot of motherfuckers to prove wrong. Own who you are. Be the bitch if you have to, but never accept less than you deserve. Screw what the world expects. Think about all the things you've faced. You cracked, but you didn't break. You're still standing. I'd call that fearlessness. That day I picked some horse chestnut leaf and flower, which is on the far side in shot. The main use of that being healing and luck. I said in an earlier video that it reminded me of my grandmother in graveyards. When I was very young, my grandmother used to take me to graveyards collecting horse chestnuts or conkers, because they had all the best ones in those graveyards, and we could go before all the school children were out and managed to get them, so I must have been quite young. I don't have an awful lot of memories of just me and my grandmother, for one reason or another. So this is one of a fair few, and it's quite precious. Reminding me of my decent ancestors and strength. I went to Holistic Fields for a Beltane shop. Got dragon's blood incense, rose violet incense. They were all for the energies of Beltane that were coming up at that point. Violet was wisdom, luck, love, protection and healing. Rose for self-love, which was the main focus of my Beltane. Dragon's blood again for power and for the Morrigan and warrior energies and self-belief. I picked up a Smithsonite blue, which heals emotional wounds by bringing in universal love, generally releasing anger through softer means. Fear and pain are also released. Helps balance energy fields between the etheric and emotional bodies and eases panic attack. The stone of inner peace. I also picked up smoky quartz cluster, which transmutes all negativity into positivity. Iolite, which balances, motivates the twilight stone. Self-assurance, endurance, especially in adverse situations. Motivation and creativity, muses and self-expression. Petalite, vision stone, peace and joy. Placed on the third eye, it brings relaxation, quieting the mind for inner exploration. Helps heal emotional trauma. Protects, balances self-acceptance. Should have seen it coming, really. It's not been a very nice week this week. They're not in shot, they're still part and parcel of my Beltane altar, which I still haven't removed. Yes, I can talk about the Beltane altar now. The Beltane altar is set up for the Avalon energies, the 9 ladies of Avalon, who are considered to be 9 faces of the Morrigan within myth. So I set up my purple and 2 shades of pink Beltane altar to invoke those energies of the etheric, the meditative place of Avalon. I did see some sort of mention about people thinking Mists of Avalon is real and it sort of being scoffed at this week, and it kind of made me a little bit sad, because on a meditative level I visualise and embrace energies of Avalon, and Avalon I consider to be energy wise very important to me, to my path. I'd love to go to Glastonbury and the tour and all that thing, because I think it's almost another world. So no matter how dark the night, morning always comes and our journey begins anew. Lulu, Final Fantasy 10. Lulu is me from Final Fantasy, basically, and I love her character. Again, Return to Avalon shared the following affirmation. I think that was Beltane or day before. I am on my life's purpose. I tried to talk to the person who hurt me this week with raw honesty. I felt I owed it to myself to try, and that then at least I had tried to be honest. I had felt that the uselessness of fear had been dictating my life. But there were excuses, there were lies. I felt heavy and painful and tried to say goodbye. Beltane will be for me the purification, the fire, the burning away all that was, so I can rise again, to build myself into something else, to tear down the walls of control, to rise up again and be strong. And I shared my Beltane message. We'll read it again here in case you haven't seen it, but step into the fire and be reborn at the threshold of Beltane. You know the darkest comes before the dawn, and wisdom learnt from pain. So cast the shackles from your wrist, the chance to be remade. Stamp your feet and clench your fist, no hiding in the shade. The fire's lit inside your heart, given half the chance. Now's the moment, now we start, and remember how to dance. Joanne Morris, 2014. And then there are 4 quotes from Do It Girl, which are beautiful. She said, above all, don't forget your magic and stay wild, child. Bow to the obstacle, for it has much to teach you. She's an open-hearted warrior. She doesn't let what they say worry her. Even in her darkest night, she never stopped fighting the good fight. Beltane was mixed. I felt sadness I couldn't shift, and cried. However, I went to the graveyard, as is my tradition. It was raining softly, and I went unhooded with the rain kissing my face. Should I cry, it'd go unnoticed. I went and laid rose petals on the forgotten, uncared-for graves. They were people once, They lived and loved and thought and felt, and now the memory of them isn't even honoured or taken care of. At Beltane I could offer at least a little love to them. The graveyard is so beautiful, so full of nature and life, so odd as that might sound. There's probably one of every Ogham tree in that small graveyard. I noticed hazel with all the nuts on the floor from last week. The apple tree that I have noticed on previous occasion was surrounded by 3 shades of bluebells and was beautiful. I saw squirrels running along the massive pine trees. I didn't take anything from the graveyard though. It was simply about giving love. As part of my Beltane ritual traditions, I also placed a candle and a beech branch for its threshold energies on the floor to leap over in Beltane tradition. I meditated and saw myself in a circle of rose petals with swan and crow feathers floating down once again, and became aware that both Bridget and Morrigan were watching. I also cried because of my situation, the lack of understanding. More messages came from the person I thought had gone and I had said goodbye to, blaming me, blaming my honesty, twisting it into something it was not. I deserve to say how I feel. I will not give in to fear. I will not be flippant. Morrigan is ever with me, telling me never to give up hope. Later that week I found Nigella seeds, or blessing seeds. Oddly enough, again, they are quoted in Practical Magic, which also came under fire this week. Blessing seeds, I didn't realise were Nigella seeds. I just felt the urge to buy Nigella seeds. Originally I was going to cook with them, because they sort of get used in curries and things like that. But so I sort of split it, and I've got half downstairs for curries and things, and then I've got half up here for the fact that they are actually blessing seeds. To bless the situation, to bring forth the truth, or to keep people away. Nothing banishes negativity and protects like the magic of blessing seeds used in healing work in England. It's referred to as love in a mist and can be used in love charms. It ties back to Avalon style energies and symbolism. Been working with rose quartz a lot this week. Got 4 large tumblestones from the farmhouse today, which was part and parcel of the Spiral of Self-Love, which is already on the channel. And so the week ended horribly, as horribly as it could. Anger, arguments, betrayal, damage. I cut out the person who betrayed me most, who told me that I am not their problem. The following quote came that day. It is during the worst times of your life that you will get to see the true colours of the people who say they care for you. And it makes me sad that most people are only loyal and honest to a point. People will tell you anything, profess love, friendship, a connection, shared experience and empathy, but when the chips are down, rare are those that will truly care for you. Two women in my life, and 2 women who are in my life but are not physically in my life, are those who stood by me. Sarah, Hazel, Sharon and Nadia. All women. And despite the fact I seem to be able to get on easier with men sometimes, it's interesting that it was all women that stuck by me. It's not to say anything bad about one gender or another, it's just how it happened. But Hazel and renamed herself, and Sarah, my sister, both my sisters, tried everything they could to keep me protected and safe. It worked out. I sorted it in the end, sorted the problems as much as possible. But I am apparently going to be having this lesson over and over again. You just can't give your whole heart to people. You can't be free like that, because it leaves you wide open to being betrayed and lied to and used. And I was all of those things this week, which is why I have been quieter than usual. So apologies to anybody who's feeling a bit put out by my reclusiveness, but this is why. And so I came full circle. I started the week feeling okay and strong and remembering my strength and who I am. And that was shattered in the week. I felt so used for other people's agenda, so manipulated. I felt and feel like such a fool. And it's left me feeling ugly. And has broken down parts of me. I let myself be unguarded, and it didn't end well. And that's not really what I wanted, you know. It would have been nice to be able to just trust someone who said they cared and were gonna be my friend and all the rest of it, rather, you know. But I guess that's unwise. Fortunately, I have these women who have stuck by me, no matter what. Who've been there for me, no matter what, and would go out of their way to help me and keep me safe. Thank the goddess for them. So it's not all complete doom and gloom. Lessons learned, I guess. The discovery of the self is never an easy thing. Joan Morris, 2014. And we'll finish up with my poem for the week, for the Ogham, which is my own intellectual work, all rights reserved. I am Phagos. I am the spiral, the very nature of true survival. I am the key, lessons learnt, the balm to heal when you've been burnt. I help you see and learn from mistake, the truth in love, the real from fake. Let's hope for a better week next week, folks. The only way's upwards. Many blessings.